Paris awakens like no other city. There's no diesel grind like Berlin or the incessant hum of Tokyo. Bright life, reflecting the buildings, walking along the cobbled streets, filled with sound of people and birds. And as you look above in the blue sky, adding low to the Lady Paris, Eiffel Tower, the most romantic place on earth. Isn't that how we imagine Paris to be? Like out of movies. But is it really like that? Yes, there's music and laughter everywhere on the street, but so are thugs and thieves. There are beautiful white buildings, but also scammers who are targeting you, and you need to know these things before you set out on your romantic trip to Paris. How we think about Paris is the first part. The later is about how we actually feel on our arrival in Paris. A condition that is thought to be triggered by the stark contrast between the romanticized image of Paris that individuals may have and the reality they experience during their visit. A Japanese woman in her early 30s, she had grown up fascinated by French literature, art, and cinema, developing a deep admiration for the city of Paris. Finally, she had the opportunity to visit the city of her dreams. Upon arriving in Paris, the woman was initially enthralled by the iconic landmarks, the charming streets, and the cultural richness she had long romanticized. However, as her trip progressed, she began to feel a growing sense of disillusionment. The language barrier, cultural differences, and the hustle and bustle of the city started to erode the idealized image she had held for so long. The Paris she had envisioned seemed to be slipping away, replaced by a more complex and challenging reality. This emotional dissonance triggered severe distress, leading to symptoms of Paris syndrome. The woman started experiencing anxiety attacks, insomnia, and paranoid thoughts. She became convinced that the locals were mocking her or that there was a conspiracy against her. Her perception of the city became distorted, and she was unable to reconcile the Paris of her dreams with the Paris she was experiencing. This incident highlights how the clash between romanticized expectations and the reality of a foreign environment can lead to a psychological condition like Paris syndrome, particularly in individuals who hold a deeply idealized view of the destination. Scammers in Paris are not sleazy, dodgy people. The ability of the scammer to make a genuine and trustworthy impression on you is probably their most important capability when pulling off a scam. There are around 4 most common scams that happen to tourists in Paris. One being the friendship band scam that occurs around Sacré-Cœur, a beautiful basilica on the top of Montmartre. On the stairs leading up the hill, many vendors try their luck and offer cold bottled water or all kinds of souvenirs. And then there are these other guys. They are all smiley and seem really nice. They walk towards you, stretching out their hand almost like they are about to congratulate you for something. It is a bit confusing because they very quickly start braiding a little friendship bracelet, chatting away, and hinting at a compensation for their efforts. Don't fall for it though. You don't have to give anyone any money for an unsolicited product, so just walk away. Next is the golden ring scam along the banks of the river Seine. Imagine you're walking along the banks of the Seine, passing by an old person, and suddenly hear the tinkle of something metal hitting the ground. They stop you, pick up a gold ring, and say that you must have dropped it. You obviously didn't, and you say so. They will then insist that it is a very nice ring, and you should take it, either for good luck or to give to your significant other, but will then beg for money in return. If it isn't your ring, which it isn't, don't take it. Just walk away and ignore them. Well, we're sure you know this one. The cup and ball scam at the Champs de Mars Park. In this scenario, there's a guy with a little table or a rug on the floor, and on it are 3 upside-down cups and a ball. He puts the ball under one of the cups and then moves them around quickly. When he stops, you have to guess under which cup the ball is. Of course, there is money involved. You can bet on finding the ball, and if you're right, you'll get double your money back. This scam works because, au contraire to what you see, the cup and ball guy is not by himself. The people gathering around him watching the spectacle are partly made up by his accomplices. Just don't get tricked into playing, but also bear in mind that watching the cup and ball game might in addition serve as a distraction while you're being pickpocketed. The fake charity collector is astonishingly common scam in Paris. The approach is very simple. Someone will wave a clipboard in your face, often featuring photocopied logos from legitimate charities. Most charities don't collect cash on the street, but will just ask for your contact details so they can send you more information. If someone is demanding money on the spot, walk away. In the heart of Paris, amidst the charming cobblestone streets, many pickpocket incidents have unfolded in the past, casting a shadow on the romantic allure of the city. And the story of this pickpocket ring is spine-chilling. Bosnian prosecutors charged 8 men accused of running a pickpocketing ring in France that brought them nearly 3 million euros. They recruited women and children, provided them with fake passports, and forced them to spend their days picking people's pockets, mainly in museums and on the metro in Paris and other cities. About 20 members of the gang were also on trial and sentenced to between 1 and 5 years in prison. Till date, pickpocketing is a huge concern in crowded and tourist-filled places in Paris. If you decide not to walk to different places because of the fear of getting mugged and instead catch an Uber, then to your surprise, these too aren't as safe as you think. This incident is of 24-year-old Lucy, who was a victim of the Uber driver after ordering a car at around 10:30 in a Paris suburb. From the start, she noticed that the driver was not going in the right direction and was not following his GPS. She knew the direction well, so she asked the driver what was happening and where were they going. After 5 minutes, the driver allegedly stopped and canceled the Uber journey, even though Lucy was still in the car. Lucy said she wanted to get out. The driver began driving again and would not let her leave. It was at this point that the woman realized she was in more danger than she had thought and decided to jump out of the car while it was still moving. To prevent such incidents, always inform a close friend or family about your whereabouts and ask them to track your location till you reach. Sexual assault is a growing concern in Paris, especially in ill-lighted areas in the night around the Eiffel Tower. But what is more shocking is that not only civilians, but even police officers are victims of sexual assault. This incident is of a 23-year-old woman, a police officer in Britain. The assailant threatened her with a knife and raped her before running away from the Champs de Mars park, but was arrested just an hour later near the scene of the crime. Away from the opulence of the Champs-Élysées, there are neighborhoods where the city's less fortunate residents navigate the challenges of poverty. Dimly lit streets echo with stories of resilience and survival. At least 3,000 people are thought to be living on the streets of Paris. Having a job no longer offers protection against homelessness, but studies have shown that Parisians tend to have more sympathetic attitudes towards the homeless than residents of many other European cities. Every night, dozens of volunteers patrol the city streets, searching out those in need of a blanket, a paracetamol, or just a conversation. Beneath those same romantic streets and charming boulevards of Paris lies a realm shrouded in darkness, the catacombs. The catacombs of Paris, a subterranean labyrinth stretching for miles, hold the skeletal remains of over 6 million souls. A macabre masterpiece, It serves as a silent testament to the city's dark past. Here, the bones of the deceased have found a final resting place, meticulously arranged to form walls of skulls and femurs. It's a chilling display that speaks to the sheer magnitude of life and death in centuries gone by. As you explore the iconic landmarks above ground, remember the eerie symphony that resonates below. As we stroll through the shadowed corridors of Paris, it becomes evident that behind the glamorous facade lies tales of mysteries. The City of Lights, as we've come to know it, casts long shadows that dance with the echoes of a darker past. What other cities or hidden histories would you like us to delve into next? Drop your suggestions in the comments below, and do not forget to like and subscribe to our channel.